Welcome back to another episode of the Female Empowered Podcast. I am your host, Christa Gurka, and today we are going to do an episode all about the recap from the Women in Wellness Business Summit that I hosted. Let's see, what is the time of this recording? It's probably 2 weeks ago now. It was November 7th, 8th, 9th here in my hometown of Miami, Florida. And so I'm going to do a little recap of it. It was, to date, I feel, the best event that we've had. It's our fourth annual one, and it's the first time that we sold out the event. So one of the things that makes this event unique and different is a few things. Number one, it is exclusively for women. So it's exclusively for women, and it's exclusively for women that own boutique healthcare, wellness, and fitness businesses. So we had physical therapy practices, both ortho, we had a lot of pelvic health practices. We had Pilates studios, we had movement studios that have a variety of services, yoga, Pilates, bar. We had group Pilates studios. We had private one-on-one studios. We had an aerial and a pole studio. We had, what else did we have there? We had combination PT and Pilates. We had a couple of those practices there. So all in all, we had 25 women. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 presenters. So our presenters this year were myself, Christa Gurka, yours truly. Then we also had Monica Spolstra, who is a PR specialist. She has over 2 decades of PR and marketing experience, having worked with a variety of big time sports organizations out west. And she also is a integrative health coach as well as a life coach now. And so she's been in the health and wellness space for a long time. And she spoke about how we can be our own PR agency, how we don't necessarily have to hire out or retain, pay high retainers to have people pitch for us. And so she gave a real great talk on how we could create our own pitches, how to be as enticing as possible to local media. So she was there. She did great with that. And then she did some one-on-ones with people as well. And we also had Danielle Hayden, who's the founder and CEO of Kickstart Accounting, Inc., a bookkeeping and accounting firm that is the money team inside of our Beyond the Movement mentorship program. So she did a presentation on how to budget for the different types of money mindset. So what she talked about, and she gave a very, very in-depth template on how we could import our numbers and look to budget based on the type of spender we are. So are we someone who likes to keep money? Are we someone who frivolously spends money? Are we someone who wants to spend money on education and training? And so she helped the attendees build out a full budget for 2025 and taught them how to project into the future so we can look and say, oh, are we spending enough on marketing? So a healthy percentage for marketing is usually between 8 and 11% is normal, but if you're growing, you should be spending maybe 12 to 15% on marketing, right? So if you have a $500,000 business, right? 10% of that, $50,000 can be budgeted towards marketing, and even more if you're trying to grow. All right. So that was Danielle's presentation. We had Lauren Hansen from Uncanny Content, who spoke all about organic marketing strategies. So instead of making reels and TikToks and all of that stuff, she talked about how we can use retention strategies as part of our marketing to have the people that are already in our world, in our stratosphere, people who have already bought from us, how can we keep them buying, and how can we increase the amount that they buy, increase the average cost per sale, right? So she talked all about that, which is a really, really great talk. And then finally, we had the sole male that attended just for his presentation because he was great. He was actually very cognizant of this was a women's business summit, but Mitch McGinley of Boutique Fitness Broker came and taught the women how to prepare our business for an exit. So whether that exit means to have somebody else be running all of the day-to-day so that we can travel or eventually sell the business. And that was a really, really great conversation about how the business owners can talk or think about how they can set that up starting today. All right. And then my presentation was, we did a full day, the first day of the summit, where we did a full year in review using a template on how to categorize your year-to-date expenses, which included not only revenue, but how did your revenue compare to 2023? But also, how did your team compare to 2023? How did your retention compare to 2023? How did your new client conversions compare to 2023? And so we provided the attendees with a template where they could just drop these numbers and they'd get all these percentages and ways for them to learn how to project when they did their planning session and budgeting with Danielle. And then in the afternoon, we did a full 2025 strategic planning session based on their goals, right? So if they wanted to grow by paying themselves more, if they wanted to grow by delegating more, getting more work off their plate, if they wanted to grow by increasing their net profit, the amount of money left over after all of their expenses paid, and we were able to help them strategize a full plan. Then on Saturday, we offer small group implementation. So basically we have groups, we broke all of the 25 people out into groups of 4, and they were able to work with me for about 50 minutes and ask questions pertaining to, a lot of them were like, okay, what do I do now? Like literally, what is the very next step I do when I get back? We also had private one-on-ones available with Monica and with a content team and with Danielle. And so again, some of the reasons that this summit is different than other summits is because we keep it small. We cap it at 25 women. All right, because we want to have individual time with each of the women. We want to be able to have networking. We want to be able to have work time where they're working on their numbers and the experts can go around and help women individually. So we want to make this like a doing conference versus just a listening conference. And the other thing is we do have these implementation groups on day 3 where you can stay if you'd like, or you don't have to stay. They're not required. But you can actually get a little more one-on-one time if that is something you'd want to do. So that was great. And I think also being in the room with other business owners, and we had businesses that are doing less than $100,000 a year to businesses that are doing over $500,000 a year. The only requirement is that you are a female and you have a boutique fitness or wellness or healthcare brand, because that's really what we talk about. We talk about the difference between an appointment-based practice versus a group class-based practice, or any type of hybrid. And so basically what I have done these last 4 years is ask some of the people that I have learned from, some of the women that are experts in their field, to come teach us as female business owners what it means to look at our numbers, what we can do to increase the profit in our business, because increasing profit in our business allows us to help more people, allows us to hire more people, to give the people already on our team raises. It allows us options to be able to make objective decisions rather than making decisions when we feel like we're backed into a corner because we don't have any cash flow. Okay. We taught the women how to improve their margins, right? How to pay their people so their team is getting a great wage and at the same time, the business is profitable. How to hire the right kind of people to grow the team and grow the business and align with their core values. So now all of the attendees are able to go back to their respective businesses, their respective hometowns, their respective studios, and implement right away these actionable, tangible tasks that we taught and we discussed in the summit. The other thing is, I think it's a great way for women to get together and also talk about the struggles and the challenges within their business and have people really realize that we're not alone. The same challenges occur in our business, whether we're generating $100,000 or we're generating $1 million. It's the same things. It's people problems, it's management problems, it's tech and infrastructure problems. And it's the same across the spectrum, and one of the questions we got a lot was, when does it get easier? And I tell people this all the time, it doesn't necessarily get easier. We just get better equipped for which to handle these situations. It's kind of like parenting, right? Parenting doesn't necessarily get easier. It just gets different. And we get stronger in how we're able to handle the challenges that come along. So it's not to say that you won't have similar challenges with team as you grow. They usually will just be fewer and far between, and we are better equipped to handle it, and the business is better equipped to handle it. So we stop chasing our tail and having to confront the same issues over and over and over again. When we implement these systems and processes, we're able to really figure out where the kink in the chain is and what exact one step we need to take in order to resolve this problem and move the needle in our business and move ourselves forward and move our team forward. And so it really is, while it's a lot of work, it's so rewarding to leave that weekend. It's so rewarding to be in the room with women and to share all of the information that I have learned over these last 14, 15 years running my business, learning from people, people that helped me, and now being able to pay it forward to other women that are doing the same thing. And, one of the biggest things I've learned in business is that we don't know what we don't know. And that's the biggest challenge, is like, we sometimes don't know the questions to ask. We don't know what's available to us. And so what I really am passionate about is putting all women business owners, or as many women business owners as I can reach out to and connect with, in the room with people that will inspire them, with people that will show them what's available to them, right? Where we can show them that we don't have to go into debt necessarily from our personal finances to fund our business. There's other ways to gain capital and, invest in our business. We can eventually sell the business. We can eventually pay ourselves $150,000, $200,000 or more as owners and founders of our business, with the right steps, with the right strategy, with the right team. You can move forward along the chain if that is what you'd like. But if you don't know what's available to you and you can't see yourself in the people that are talking to you and teaching you, then it's really hard to project where you want to be in 5 years, right? And that's one of the reasons I work with only women. Not to say that men are not good coaches and successful in their own right, but it's different. Okay. It's different. A lot of the male mentors and coaches in this industry that I know of are great people, but the majority of them, if not all of them, have their wives at home to take care of the family responsibilities. All right. So and you can DM me. I know that's not everybody, it's a generalization, but the men that I'm thinking of in my head right now, which are 4 or 5 of them, have their wives at home taking care of family responsibilities. And while I have the most supportive husband ever, shout out to Scott, he is so supportive of my business. He is so in it with the family structure. We are equals in our household. He also travels a lot for work, and it's just a different dynamic, mothers and children and fathers and children. It's just different. I'm not saying it's better or worse, it's just different. And so I can speak the same language, and maybe I can be an example to women as to, yes, you can be a wife. Yes, you can be the primary parent. Yes, you can raise children and grow a multiple 6 or 7 figure business and pay yourself a high 6 figure salary, a multiple 6 figure salary. If that is what you want, you can also create a solopreneur studio where it's just you and pay yourself a multiple 6 figure salary and have no people to manage. Okay. You can have both. You can have what it is that you desire as long as you're doing the right things to create a sustainable business that is also making you money. Okay. Because it's one thing to have a business that's making you a lot of money, but if it's burning you out, that's not healthy or sustainable. And it's one thing to have a sustainable business, but if it's not making you any money, that doesn't work either. What the goal should be is to have a sustainable and profitable business. And there's ways to do that. Okay. There are ways to do that and to make it happen. It's not going to happen overnight. It might take a year, 3 years, 5 years. But if we know where we're going, if we have a goal in mind, it's like training for a marathon. You don't wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to train for a marathon, and a week later run 26 miles, unless you're a freak of nature, which might happen to some people. But the majority of people, if they've never run before, okay, most of us are people that have never owned a business. So if you've never run before and your goal is to run a marathon, you are probably training for a year or more. And you're increasing your mileage little by little. So it does not happen overnight. However, with strategic goals in place, right? And the success is not linear. So we're going to veer off track, and then we got to pull ourselves back on track, which is why having a mentor, having a like-minded community to keep us accountable and keep us encouraged when we feel like we want to burn it all down helps us get farther faster. All right. So one of the things I want to do, I actually really got some amazing, 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 already feedback from the summit. And I just wanted to share with you guys what some people said. But yes, it is tooting my own horn, but it's not just my horn. It's also tooting the horn of like everyone that was involved. Because it's not just me. It's the atmosphere. It's the place where we have it. Everything for me is very intentional to make people feel engaged, comfortable, and empowered and uplifted. So one person reached out to me and said, Christa, out of all the mastermind coaching events I've been to, your Women in Wellness Summit was the most actionable. I'm leaving with so many ideas to implement. The guest experts were so insightful. I can't thank you enough. I am so glad I attended. So that is amazing. Another one that I got was, let me see here. Here it is. This one was, hi, Christa. Hope you're doing well and recovering from the summit. You deserve a break. I wanted to say that, first of all, it was amazing. Jen and I, another person that attended, were talking at the airport about how this event compared to other things we have spent money on. What'd she say? We've spent money on to travel. This by far blew all the others out of the water. It made us feel like I said in the implementation sessions, that I was just going to implement these things and level up and do things that I never thought were possible in my business, even just 6 months ago. I feel secure. I feel great that now I can go back and implement these strategies right away into my business with clarity. So that was pretty cool. Um, Another one, let me pull this one up, is um let's see, and one of the things I did was I really wanted to create an environment where I felt like I didn't have this. I love summits and I love learning, but I didn't think there was a good one necessarily for business when I was coming up, right? So I thought that I really wanted to create something that could help people learn how to run their businesses. Here's another one. The annual review was amazing. The planning session went fast when we were playing with our numbers, but it was so important to review. And I'm so glad we were able to review our year to date previously before starting the annual planning session. It made it very implementatable. I don't think that's a word, but it made it very implementable, I think is what maybe she was trying to say. Um, Another one said, let's see, here we go. How did this compare to other retreats? This was by far up there with one of my top 3 favorite retreats. It was a great break to get back to being a strategic planner. And I love having this clarity break in a running of the day-to-day of our business. So, let's see. Then here, I'll read one more. This One of the best things I loved about the business was the autonomy of bringing my vision to life my way. I don't have to do it like other people. I can do it my way. There is ongoing challenges with keeping our doors open. I felt that with everybody. Additionally, there is a loneliness associated with owning your own business. This group made me realize I was not alone. It's one of the reasons I love being part of this community. It is so valuable. You and your team were amazing. I feel motivated going back, and I look forward to knowing what I can expect in 2025 in my business. So, I'm, flattered that people really liked it. And I asked people for their reviews and their input because each and every year I want to make it better. I don't want to just give a summit for people to come and not learn anything. This is for you. This is for the women that are like, this is what I need to make my business better, to make my life better, to make my business as my life as cohesive as possible. All right. So I hope, we're going to do it again in 2025. It is tentatively set for November 6th through 8th, again in Miami, Florida. So if you are interested in attending next year, okay, you could get yourself on the wait list early. If you go to my website, christagurka.com, under the Work With Me tab, live events, it should be there should be a new wait list on that landing page so you can get yourself on the wait list. The other thing I would do is block it out on your calendar because it is right after Halloween and right before Veterans Day. So I like to do it around Veterans Day because it's in Miami. So also if their kids have off on Veterans Day, maybe you can make it like a family event and come down. But tentatively set for November 6th through 8th, 2025. I would love to sell out again and have 25 women business owners. The women that are in my inner circle and FitBiz Foundations get access to register before it opens to the public. This year, I think we had a good mix of people. We had all 8 inner circle members attend. We had 3 FitBiz Foundations community members attend, and then the rest were new people. Maybe they had attended the summit before, but they're not in the programs. And so that means a lot to me as well. All right. If you have any questions, DM me over on Instagram. I'm over there at Christa Gurka. You can also email me. I'm not going to give you too many things to do. That's like the kiss of death with marketing. So DM me over on Instagram at Christa Gurka. And until next time, my friends, bye for now. I hope to see you at the 2025 Summit.